When the city fell, I was captured along with the princess. My husband rode in with his troops, took the rebel leader's wife hostage, and said, "Your wife, for mine." The rebels agreed. Xie Huailin had these soft, flirtatious eyes, and when he said it, he was looking straight at me. Warm, tender, like every word came from the heart. Like he genuinely loved me to his core. I waited, heart full of hope, and then watched him walk, step by step, straight toward the princess. He passed so close to me I could actually smell the familiar scent of him. He brushed right past the hem of my dress, and I let out a desperate, muffled sob. The rebel guard shoved me back. "Stop moving!" Xie Huailin paused for just a second, but he didn't turn around. He walked straight up to the princess and cut her ropes with his blade. He scooped her up in his arms while she quietly cried into his chest. I thrashed as hard as I could, even tried to kick him as he walked by. Legs just weren't long enough. Xie Huailin finally stopped. He turned and looked at me, genuine pain in his eyes. "Your Highness, I wanted to save you too, but they would only let one person go. I cannot be without my wife. I beg your forgiveness." If my mouth hadn't been stuffed with cloth, I would have ripped that lie apart with the sharpest, most cutting words I had, but all I could do was watch him walk away. Xie Huailin never looked back. But Zhao Lanruo, cradled in his arms, wrapped her arms around his neck, rested her chin on his shoulder, and looked back at me. After a long moment, her lips moved. No sound came out, but I read every word. I won this time. I was shoved into a carriage, alongside the woman Xie Huailin had used as a hostage to trade for Zhao Lanruo. This Lady Shen had a kind heart. She saw how hard I was struggling and said softly, "Your Highness, that cloth in your mouth must be terribly uncomfortable. Let me take it out, just please don't scream, all right?" I nodded. She leaned in and pulled the cloth from my mouth. "I'm not the princess. I'm Xie Huailin's wife, the one he took with him. She's the real Princess Qinghe. I'm just a discarded pawn, no use to anyone." But she saw how pale my face was, and something softer crept into her eyes. "As it happens, someone who knew Princess Qinghe personally will be arriving in Yang City soon. If you truly aren't her, I'll ask my lord to give you more freedom. But until then, I'm sorry for the trouble." Lady Shen must have put in a good word for me, because I was locked in a reasonably clean room and left to wait for that acquaintance of Zhao Lanruo's to come identify me. The girl assigned to watch over me was about my age, named Maidong, bubbly personality, built like she could deck a bull with one punch. She was not happy to see me. I told her I wasn't Princess Qingyi. "Don't talk to me. My lord said I'm not smart enough, that you noble types would trick me." Fine. I shut up and quietly waited. On the morning of the third day, Maidong had tucked a flower into her hair. She fidgeted and said, "The general is almost here." The words had barely left her mouth when rushed footsteps came from outside. The young man pushed the door open. A gust of wind swept in with him, lifting his snow-white robes, and the whole world went still. He stood there, eyes locked on me. I don't even know why. This person I hadn't seen in 6 years just called my name, and every bit of composure I'd held onto since the day I was taken just broke. I came from the Lu clan of Fanyang. My father held one of the 3 highest offices in the court. When I was 7, the Empress chose me to enter the palace as a companion to Princess Zhao Lanruo. The first 3 years, Zhao Lanruo and I were inseparable, genuinely close. But somewhere along the way, she started to resent me. Maybe it was when the Empress praised my calligraphy. Or maybe it was because I could memorize a passage in one read while she stayed up half the night struggling through the same lines. I didn't want to lose her, so I learned to hide how capable I was, and just like that, she warmed back up to me. But you can hide your talent. You can't hide feelings. No matter how quiet you keep them, they always show up in your eyes. Zhao Lanruo figured it out fast. We had both fallen for the same person, Jiang Xuehe, the crown prince's companion. She cut me off again. Even when I suggested we could both try fairly, Zhao Lanruo shut it down immediately. "Have you forgotten who I am? I'm the princess. You? Compete with me? You've got some nerve." Zhao Lanruo went straight to the emperor and asked for an arranged marriage. He said yes. But Jiang Xuehe knelt outside the Zishan Hall for an entire night. He said he already had someone he cared for, and begged the emperor to take back the decree. The emperor was not a merciful man. He looked down at Jiang Xuehe from above and said, "Either accept the marriage, or defy the imperial order and face the execution of 9 generations of his family." I stood beneath the palace wall holding a lantern, waiting. Jiang Xuehe finally came, looking completely hollow. A dark cloak over his shoulders, his face white as snow. And the first thing he said to me was, "Are you cold?" "Not anymore." I didn't need to ask who it was he cared for. I pressed the lantern into his hands, eyes full of tears. "Xuehe, watch your step. The road is slippery.